she watched it.
How do you know? Oh, we should know my bad. I'm just gonna be like,
You never know when someone's gonna need something.
you never know when someone.
Welcome back, everybody. So, I got my co-host, Marcellus.
Hello, it's Marcellus Norman. Nice to meet you.
I mean, they technically already met you, but okay. And we got a guest here, Dakota.
Hello.
I don't know if you can hear her. I hope you can. I'm going to turn the volume on this down just a smidgen. And we're just going to talk, chill, maybe give some advice.
What do you say?
It is rum. That's the good shit, man. You're talking to a German / Russian / Swedish person.
An alcoholic.
Okay, but that's a serious subject.
Yes, it is.
Don't drown yourself in alcoholism. That's,
Kraken is good, man.
it is, but
Yeah.
don't kill yourself with it.
I
Yeah.
did at some point.
What are you looking for?
A glass.
Because Dawson is good.
Do you know where they are? Okay. Well,
Oh, we were talking about the kitchen?
Yeah.
the cups.
I don't know.
Do you know where the kitchen be?
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back. Our
For
guest shall
information.
entertain you with her brilliant. I don't know.
I'm somewhat of a brilliant mind. I'm an interesting human being the way it is. Fun fact for you, the most interesting person with me, the more fun you'll have being with them or around them. That's a cop. Thank you.
So, I wanted to start off by saying what I told Marcellus. For the overthinkers,
I'm sorry.
when you're stuck in your head, make it the best place it can be. If you're always stuck in your head, try and make it the best place you can be, not the negative, nothing like that. Think about the good things that you have, the good things that you can think about. But, on that note, so, how do you feel about the whole men being pitted against women and women being pitted against men thing? With toxic masculinity and toxic feminism.
In my own response is we should not put people down just to lift ourselves up. Like, that is not cool in any way, shape, or form. So the feminists out there putting men down because, I'm sorry, I'm gonna get a little graphic, because they got dicks. That makes them, what, a better species than us females? No, not really. I mean, there are definitely things that some guys can do that girls cannot. But we are our own people. We do what we see fit to do ourselves. So, for example, I'm a female professional welder. Female welder. So, men who say that girls can't go out there and be mechanics or electricians or welders or whatever the case may be, that's absolutely wrong. If you can do it, you can put your mind to it.
Mm-hmm.
So don't let anybody be like, hey, boys are better in this way, and this way.
Mm-hmm.
It's like girls can do the exact same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And vice versa.
Yeah.
what is toxic masculinity to you, or did you already ask for that?
No, I didn't ask her that. That was actually what I was just about to ask her.
Or what are some toxic masculine
Habits and
behaviors that you've noticed in your own experiences that are detrimental to, their mental health or your own mental health?
How does it affect your mental health?
Honestly, I've never really came across a toxic man yet, but I'm bound to meet a few along the way.
So, me and him actually had this conversation the other day. The whole thing about toxic masculinity is because most men are broken. And they didn't get the right kind of healing, the right kind of help. So when they were trying to put themselves back together, they didn't put themselves back together in a good way. They left bits and pieces, blades, and sharp spots sticking out because they didn't get the help to put themselves back together in a healthy way. So I want to get rid of this whole toxic masculinity thing. I want to get rid of the whole toxic feminism thing. Men and women are meant to live together. They're meant to be together. It's just how it is.
And I agree on that.
And so the narrative of these toxic things comes from being broken and not being healed the right way. Not being healed in a healthy way.
And I find that is the same case with feminism.
Yeah.
Is that they've been hurt before by one or many, and they just don't know how to cope with what they have.
And so is it that men or women, when they're trying to empower people of the same gender, in some cases they might be projecting their own insecurities and resentment that they build up towards the other gender. I forgot my train of thought. Holy shit! Oh my god! Where was I going with that? Oh.
You got it.
Okay, so you know what? Somebody else take the floor. I need to regather myself.
Rehash it in your head.
Yeah.
Recap. We need one of those
Rewind.
standby things.
Yeah, standby.
24 hours later.
6 years later.
Oh, you remember that time when we were doing that episode for the podcast and
I forgot what I was saying. I remember now.
I remember.
Oh,
Marcellus,
my
that was 6 years ago.
But
Hey,
so,
you came back around to it.
guys, with what I was talking about earlier today, when you're in times of need, get with people that care about you, get with people that love you, get with people that enjoy your presence, because you get stuff like this. You get laughs, you get fun.
Mm-hmm.
If I didn't have anybody, I don't know what I would do. But it's all about taking the initiative to recognize that you're in pain and you need help.
Mm-hmm.
Soldiers need help. You can't fight a one-man war.
Mm-hmm.
Everything gets heavy. Everything gets... Someone's always there to help you lift that boulder. Lift that stuff off of your shoulders. Even if it's just with laughs. Even if they don't know exactly how to help. If you can get a laugh or you can have fun, you're golden.
So, when a person is projecting their own experiences onto another person, does that qualify as toxic? I was having a conversation today with Jacob, and he, someone who we worked with at Amazon, and he shared with me that he deleted my contact because, one, I was in a place of confusion with my sexuality and was trying to create a firm identity in who I was as a person, and was seeking validation from, say, women, escorts who are far more experienced than I was, and I was losing hope of meeting someone who was...
Let me pause you right there. Your feelings are not allowed to be toxic. No one gets to tell you that your feelings are toxic. It's how you feel. If you feel like you're this, something's going this way, projecting it, it's you cannot make someone else feel how you feel. Projection of feelings is false. Showing your feelings, that's true. Projecting it onto someone is false.
I sincerely agree.
Those are your feelings, not theirs. They aren't allowed to feel your feelings. They're yours. It's not toxic. You just need help. When you're in a place like that, you need someone to help, to genuinely care. And there's people that do. That's another thing where people get confused. It's another person's feelings. You should never think another person's feelings are toxic to you. They may hurt, but they're not toxic to you. They're allowed to feel. You have to care enough to try and help. You have to care enough to do something about it. Let them know that you're there. If they don't want help, and if you keep trying to help, if they don't want help, it's okay to let that person go until they want help. I've done it in the past. I've let people go because they were consistently negative. And negativity with yourself it frustrates people because they don't know how to help. But people need to be patient. People need to allow people to recognize how they feel. Allow people to come for help without being asked, without going out of your way to try and help someone. You have to let them want the help. You have to let them ask for the help.
Picture it this way. What is easier to move, a pebble or a boulder?
A pebble.
The pebble is the person who wants help the most. The boulder is just going to build up their walls and just be silent about all their problems and stuff. But once that boulder gets eroded down by weather and change and all just the elements in general, then they're ready to open up and talk about what they want to talk about.
That was a
Interesting analogy.
Yeah, that was a different way of thinking.
Yeah, and that is absolutely welcomed.
I honestly don't know if I would have thought of that.
I
When
would-
she was saying it, I thought of something else though.
yeah, I was like, where is Dakota going with this? It's like, oh, I'm falling. I might fall off the ledge right here, but I hung on, and you brought it home.
I had you in the first half.
Think of it this way. Think of it like, it's kind of funny. Some people are like castles.
Mhm.
They are built of brick. They're hard to get through.
Mhm.
But once you do, you know how beautiful castles are on the inside? That's exactly the same. Houses are pretty on the inside and outside. And they have their issues here and there. But people that are broken with mental disorders build themselves castles because they're afraid to be happy. But they don't need to be afraid to be happy. And with the pebble and the boulder, I forgot actually what I thought of when you were saying it, but
Sorry.
it's fine. Memory problems are wonderful.
Right, I agree. I'm on
Um,
that same boat.
no, like if someone is carrying feathers and someone is carrying a boulder, who are you gonna try and help?
The boulder, most definitely. But it's like trying to move a mountain at that point. There's some that will open up, but then there's some that are like, you know what, I'm good. I'm just gonna stand in my corner, and you could just go somewhere else. Don't bother me until I'm ready.
Mm-hmm. You have to let them chisel away at that boulder a little bit. You have to let them turn that boulder into a couple of feathers. It's hard being patient with someone because you just want them to be okay. But you have to be patient with someone. You have to be there. And everyone has their own boulder, their own issues. But that's where this is coming from. You have to start with yourself before you can help someone else. You have to start. You have to make sure you can get it down to a pebble that you can put in your back pocket. It's there, you know it's there, you feel it whenever you sit down. But it's there.
So what are your guys' thoughts on, and this is something that me and Jacob had talked about over the phone, and it's our different approach to growth. I believe that it's necessary, absolutely necessary, in understanding and accepting the world as it is, as in regards to our dual natures. Like I would rather understand that the world isn't full of goodness, isn't just full of goodness, but it's also filled by evil. I want to understand both evil and good, and how that relates to, who we are as people and how we choose to behave. And something that we that we talked about is letting go of who we are, or the past versions of ourselves that hold us back. I would rather use the versions of myself who I may not like and am disgusted with as a motivating factor, as motivation for who not to be like again.
Mm-hmm.
whereas he is more of the person who still hasn't accepted those parts of who he was and would rather not acknowledge them,
Mm-hmm.
so as to not let his past character traits and behaviors surface in his life today. I would rather understand and acknowledge all parts of myself
Mm-hmm.
to be able to take steps forward.
But everybody takes their steps differently.
Very, very much so, yes.
And someone can't tell you how to take the steps.
Mm-hmm.
You have to do that yourself.
Absolutely.
So, disagreements happen, lifestyles are different. Nobody has the right to be mad at you for taking your steps to growth and telling you the way that you view things is wrong. They can give you advice on how to look at things different, but it's still up to you on how you grow.
Right.
You can grow happy. You can grow complacent.
Mm-hmm.
You can grow joyful. It matters if you have the right mindset.
Mm-hmm.
If you use negative things in a positive way, that's good. If you use positive things in a positive way, that's good. It's just how you are.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is in life, people go through both sides of the yin and yang. They have good with a little bit of bad.
You can't
They
know light
have-
unless you know dark.
Exactly. But it's not even just that. It's yin and yang applies to so much.
Past meets future. dark,
Evil,
light.
yeah, evil, good, negative and positive emotions, negative and positive people. It applies to so much, and not a lot of people realize that. People have yin and yang inside of them.
Mm-hmm.
They go through periods where, things suck emotionally, but they're still good. And if you look at the good, you get back to that positive.
Mm-hmm.
And for most people nowadays, we're all stuck in the negative.
Mm-hmm.
We're all stuck in the yang. And we can't see the good.
Mm-hmm.
You have to try real hard to see it. But once you see it, that good starts to grow and builds you a path into the yin.
Into the light, towards the light, yeah.
Yeah.
When he told me the reasons why he decided to delete my contact, it bothered me, because he assumed the reasons why I was messaging escorts, and he didn't actually know why until I actually shared with him my opinion and my thoughts, and when I shared with him why I chose to message escorts, and that gave him the necessary understanding to then realize that it's really important to reserve judgment about the decisions other people make.
Never assume how someone is feeling. Never assume what someone's going through. Never assume what someone's thinking.
And what he did was, instead of taking the initiative to understand why I was choosing to associate myself with escorts who are generally looked at as bad people or bad demographic of people is he. Damn, I forgot where I was going.
6 years later.
But, yeah, I think he didn't take initiative to understanding why he was choosing to do that, and because my approach or what I was doing didn't align with his values. He deemed me as a person who wasn't on a pathway to growth, to self-growth. And when I was talking to him, and he was saying, "Hey, like, I don't think escorts or those type of people or want to grow in a positive way." And my retort, my counter to that is,
How do you
know?
Yeah.
You don't know what they're doing it for. You don't.
There's some intelligent people, like, who are in Harvard and going through school, but they don't have a way to pay it off, and the only job that they can really probably get is escorts or at strip clubs or whatever the case may be. You don't know their background, you don't know their stories, you don't know them.
You know what's crazy though?
What?
Is those people that go through struggle like that, paying for school, whatever, they have something to go through. They're going through something. Strippers are one of the highest paid low jobs, beginning jobs that you can get.
Mhm.
I've seen people bring in $4,000 or $5,000 a week stripping, being a dancer, that kind of stuff. When you're in struggle, you do what you can to survive. You do what you can to get into a place where you don't have to just survive. You can live. You can be happy.
And that, why is, say, a strip club a place of degradation when, if you look at it from a different perspective, this is one of the this is obviously a very vulnerable place, not just because you're half naked, but also because you're being, in a lot of ways, selfless, because you are helping other people fulfill their own desires, whatever they may be, whether that's to, whatever that may be. But why is it a place of degradation? This is
Degradation.
Why I view strippers as one of the most courageous, stripping. I view that as a very courageous field, a very brave field. You have to be brave and courageous to get up on that stage and
confident confident as hell.
And that there's something in that to be admired.
Because most people won't even do applications at places they want to do. Most people won't fill out applications to the job, their dream job. Most people don't try.
Yes.
But this is off of the main topic. But you can't look down on someone because of the struggle they're going through. It's not their fault. Some occasions it is their fault. I will say that. But most people, it's not their fault.
Right.
It's just how things went. It's how they were raised. It's life. You lose stuff. You gain stuff. But if you want to have a happy life, you gotta look at the things that you have, the good things that you have. And a lot of people don't notice that.
Have you guys ever felt like have you guys ever felt that I've been imposing at any point in...
Heck no. I would straight up tell you if you were.
That's one of the things that I told you. Be 100%. That's what I told them. It's what I told my ex. Be 100%.
Right.
We're gonna be 100% with you.
I would tell you straight to your face that I hate you, but I don't. You're a good person.
Thank you.
You both are good people.
A lot of what people lack nowadays is being 100%.
Honesty.
Be 100% in everything that you do, everything that you say, everything that you feel. I'm going to repeat this over and over and over. Be 100%. Like I told you, it took a while. I will admit, when I was younger, I wasn't 100%. But since I turned 16, 17, I've been 100% with everyone that I talk to, everyone that I care about.
And how you feel and what you think.
Yeah.
So, not to cut you off,
You're fine.
but I apologize. When was the last time, and this is for Dakota and the audience, when was the last time you did something or said something and were 100%?
Honestly, my first time meeting you, yelling at you that safety is freaking policy, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When was the last time you were 100% about how you feel about yourself?
How I feel about myself? Oh, shit, it's been a while. I don't talk to people much, so.
No, it's not even about telling people. It's about just being 100% with yourself. Letting yourself feel how you feel. And without being confused about how you feel. Without just going, meh. Without just going, I'll be alright. When was the last time you were 100% I feel this way and you did something about it?
It's been a few years. Probably back in college, whenever I moved in, and I'm like, you know what? This is what I'm gonna do. This is basically kind of my New Year's resolution to myself, and like literally in the middle of July of the year of my high school graduation. It's like, I'm gonna do better. I'm gonna better myself as a person, and I'm just gonna take the bull by the horns and go for it.
Awesome.
No, that's what I want people to do. If you don't feel 100% about it, feel it 100%. If you love someone, feel 100% before you say it. If you miss someone, feel it 100% before you say it. If you're sad, feel 100% sad.
I agree.
Don't be confused. Handle your confusion before you make someone feel like... before you say something that could hurt someone. Be 100%. Now, you can be 100% in two things at once. A couple things at once. But make sure that you are 100% those things. Not, I'm kind of happy. I'm kind of sad. I'm happy. I'm sad, though, too. I'm sad because of this, but I'm happy because of this.
What stops you from being 100%?
Honestly, I have no idea. Like most people, we got so many roadblocks ahead of us and everything else.
What is your number one roadblock, Sully?
For what?
For yourself.
For myself? My number one roadblock is
I know for me, my roadblock is myself, because I'm literally the only person who can hold myself back.
my roadblock is not holding myself back.
Explain that.
You can feel 100%. You can say things 100%. But you have to have patience as well on when to say them.
I agree. My dad, for example, or at least my parents taught me the power of having a voice, but what I didn't learn was how to use that voice and when to use it. And because she's been at the tail end, the short end of this. She's got the short end of the stick with me, because when I feel like I need to stand up for something that I believe is right and feel is right, I don't know how to approach the situation and and using my voice and standing up for whatever might be going on.
AKA, he has no filter.
I have no filter.
That's part of being 100%. But with that, knowing what to say, 100% what to say, is better than knowing when to say it. Because with one of the things that you told me a while ago about dude's name starts with a K. Kevin. I'm just gonna say that.
Okay.
Fight guy.
Zach?
Wow. Other end of the alphabet. With Zach, he said something to you.
Oh,
It may not have been at the right time, but it was the right thing to say. And that did something. That planted a seed that now blossomed. How many months later? How many years later? The point is, sometimes sticking up for what is right and saying the right thing don't go together.
Yep. I agree. So, when I feel the need to want to stand up for myself or someone else and something I believe, an ideology or anything like that, when is it most necessary to remove yourself from the situation?
When advice isn't wanted, when help isn't wanted.
How do you identify that? Because I have trouble, like, even when someone may say, "Hey, I don't want your help, but thank you. I appreciate the gesture," and sometimes I feel hurt by it, because I always want to help someone.
That's when they tell you, "Thank you, but I don't need this right now."
But then there are some that don't vocalize it and will just, lash out completely.
Body language
Tensing up.
just it doesn't seem like they're listening.
Right.
That's when they don't want help. But you're allowed to be hurt by someone not wanting to accept your help. But that's not on you. It's on them.
They're the ones who don't want to listen.
They're the ones that don't want help. And that comes back to what I was saying earlier. When you're in a bad place, accept help. You can't do everything on your own. It's impossible.
Right.
You cannot be the master of your mind without some help. Every government, every king, every council has help.
That is true.
To be the master and the king of your mind, have help.
Mhm.
And another thing I wanted to touch on before we're done here is communication between everyone. When someone tries to communicate, let them communicate.
It might be silent, or it might be loud. You just gotta look for the signs and listen for the tales.
Mm-hmm.
That rhymes.
But on that, don't let someone's communication and what they have to say determine how happy you are.
Right.
You do that. Someone can say something hurtful, but that's how they feel in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get mad. Don't hate them for it. You're allowed to feel. You're allowed to have the emotions. To not express them does you a disservice before it does anyone else.
Oh, when I was talking with Jacob over the phone, there did come a point when I felt like I couldn't continue the conversation or contribute because of some of the hurtful things that he said that I hadn't considered about my own character and character flaws, and I wanted to run away in that moment. I wanted to hang up the phone, and I even expressed that to him. But you know what I did? I said, no. You know what? I need to hear this. And so we continued talking and continued and sort of straightened it out. And it's this emphasizes your point of communication. Had we not communicated, we wouldn't have been able to reconcile our differences or even discover what our differences were.
And sometimes help hurts.
Absolutely.
But it is up to you to feel it. It is up to you to process it in yourself. Feel it completely. And chip away at why you feel that way. And what you can do to not feel that way in a positive way. Whether it be going to counseling, going to therapy, finding ways to be better for yourself. And those things that people say that hurt slowly start to go away to where all you have is happy.
I'm more than glad that he did share how he felt, and because it was raw, it was pure, it was honest, and it was totally and completely sincere. And later on in the conversation, after we had reconciled our differences, he said that he wanted to work on being less cold-hearted and straightforward, and my advice to him was, why try and filter how you feel towards someone? I told us I appreciate it more when someone is blunt, transparent, and honest, regardless of how it might make me feel, because the gift that he gave to me that may not is the seed of, I don't know what that seed is right now, but the gift he gave may be learned down the road, a week from now, months from now, years from now. But I appreciate his cold-hearted honesty, because that had he not been unfiltered and raw, I may not have been able to grow in that during that conversation.
And a lot of the time you have to just push through. You're still gonna grow. Trees get their limbs cut off, but they still grow.
And sometimes growth happens unexpectedly. You're always growing whether you realize it or not.
And with that, guys, I'm gonna say,
I have quick something to say.
Oh.
For some of you out there, if you need help, just ask for it. Anything can happen.